Hey guys, Roxy Sims here, and I have another speed build for you today. Today, I am building a Japanese onsen. An onsen is a brand new lot type that came with this No Escape expansion pack, and in case you didn't know, an onsen is a place where you can go and you can enjoy a hot spring. This particular onsen also has some spa features as well, such as massage tables, and there's a place to do yoga, and things like that. You might have noticed that I'm actually building this in Oasis Springs, but that is because I started this build weeks ago. In fact, I had it completely planned out to pretty much every little detail. I was just so excited, I couldn't wait for the pack. And so, yeah, like I said, I had it completely done, and then I went ahead and recorded the build up until the point where I kind of needed the new pack, and then I just had it ready and waiting for the pack to come out. But don't you worry, we'll have this moved on over to Mount Komorebi in no time. I wanted to go for a bit more traditional with this onsen, so the exterior is very traditional, I would say. And then the interior is where I update it a little bit. So the storyline that I'm going for with this is that it's just a very, very old onsen, but it's been in business this whole time. So they have been putting updates into it, through the years. It's not super modern on the inside, just a little bit of modern touches. Like the tile is pretty modern. There are bathroom stalls in the bathrooms, things like that. I wish that I could take credit for coming up with this bridge, but no, I did not think of it myself, unfortunately. That was actually Simproved. I'm sure you've heard of her. I think she shared that bridge on Twitter, and I just loved it. So using platforms, you can make a kind of arched bridge. So thank you, Simproved, for that amazing idea, and it is functional. I tested out every single thing on this lot, and the Sims can use all of it completely functional. I also wanted to explain what's going on here. So this first floor of this onsen is actually on the second floor. So I built a little first story box, sunk it into the ground, built this on top of it, and then deleted that first story part of the building. The reason for that is because I looked up some inspiration photos, tons and tons of inspiration photos, and some of those buildings were actually built over the water. And I really loved that idea, and I knew that I wanted to implement it in my own build. But the thing is, you cannot do that with a first story. And, you could make the main part of the building that's not over water on a first story, and then just make these secondary buildings on the second story, but you can't fully connect them the way that you can if it's just all on the second story, if that makes sense. So I just went ahead and I was like, I will just make a fake foundation to go underneath this main building, and then just make it all on a second story. So if you do download this build, you might be a bit confused because when you first open up and you build, it's on the first story, obviously, and there will be pretty much nothing there. Just the fake foundation that I built for this, and then nothing else. But don't worry, you just go up a story, and that's where everything else is. Also, if you happen to download this, as always, make sure that you put on the BB move objects space on cheat before you place the build. I never ever build without that cheat, and if you try to download it and place it without that cheat on, some things might be moved or missing or things like that. So let's talk about the design of this place. Now, how I came up with this layout and what I wanted it to look like I was saying earlier, I looked up a ton of reference pictures, lots and lots of onsen pictures that I had to look at, and a lot of it was kind of hard to see the true layout of the entire building, so I just kind of had to piece it together. But the features that I really liked from those pictures were that some were built over the water, some were really nestled in amongst all the hot springs, and so that is what I was wanting to go for. I just thought it'd be cool if there was just water kind of surrounding the place, and then this building was just kind of plopped on top of it, nestled in there. And I definitely expand the hot spring look. Now, obviously, you can only have the real hot spring is the one that comes with the Snowy Escape expansion pack, but I use the geothermal lot trait for this. And like you saw earlier in this video, this lot is going to end up in the snowy part of Mount Komorebi. And so the geothermal lot trait, I didn't even know this was the thing until I really read it, but that will actually keep these pool waters warm. So your sim could swim in the regular pool area as well as the hot spring itself, even though it's really cold outside. Oh, and here is that fake foundation that I was talking about. It's just a little stone wall that I got from the debug section, and I like how it turned out. And then I have these areas, of course, held up by these logs that I got from the debug section. I love this look. This is one of my favorite parts. Anyways, back to the hot springs surrounding this build. You can see here, we have moved to Mount Komorebi, not its final location. I actually wanted to build this without the snow because if you've ever built in the snow in The Sims, it's kind of hard to see anything at all. You can hardly tell if it's the right roof textures or the landscaping is difficult. So I wanted to build this with no snow. Oh, here I put in these little tiered pools here to mimic those hot springs that you'll see, where you'll have a slightly higher hot spring kind of overflowing into the lower ones. That's the look that I was going for. And as you could see, I placed about 350,000 rocks surrounding these ponds. I wanted them to look very natural. But anyways, like I was saying about these, with the geothermal lot, they'll stay warm. And then I achieve the hot spring look by putting those steam, what do you call those? Steam vents, I guess you would call them, all throughout it. And I even placed some chimneys underneath the pool. So there will be smoke/steam coming out all around this place. The only thing you need to do to make sure that you have the smoky look is whenever you come to this lot, you can light the fireplace, and that will let the smoke come out from all of those hidden chimneys everywhere. You might have noticed that I did cut out a lot of the placing of the rocks, the placing of landscaping. I just wanted to cut out a lot of the things that were super repetitive. If I left in placing all the rocks, we would have been watching me place rocks for 20 minutes, even with it sped up as fast as it'll go. So I definitely did not want to do that. That would be quite boring. So I just placed a lot of rocks. The tips that I have for placing rocks to make them look more natural is varying sizes, using different types of rocks next to each other. Like, you don't want all the same rock next to each other. And then I also like to change the angle of them just to make them look a little bit more natural. And I also like to use some of the debug rocks. Those things, they have a lot of variation, so that definitely helps as well. Here you can see me playing around a little bit with the platform tool. I'm in love with this tool, you guys. And I used this area to kind of make the entrance into the real onsen area, the real hot spring area, a little more special. Because I just put this, these flap doors, these sliding doors into it. I tried that out first and I was like, this is just so boring. It's just a flat wall with a flat door and nothing really special about it. And I kind of just wanted it to feel a bit more grand, so this is leading into the place where you change and you take your showers before going into the actual hot spring. So yeah, I thought it just made it a bit more fancy. And then of course have to have this little reception area, fireplace, cozy area. The vibe that I wanted for the whole place is just really warm and cozy, which I think is definitely a necessity considering this is going to be covered in snow 100% of the time where it's going up on the mountain. And, you don't have to put this out in the snow. If you decide that you want to put this on the lot that I'm actually building it on right now, the 50/50 lot in Mount Komorebi, I mean, you definitely can do that. I will say, I do think it looks better in the wintertime, like, or up on the mountain where it's always snowy. You know, because not everything translates, I guess. Does that make sense? So one thing that I think is better whenever it's snowy out is it kind of changes the coloring of the pool water, and which is not a huge deal, but I have the actual hot spring kind of nestled amongst all the other pool water, and so there's a bit more of a difference in the color of the hot spring water compared to the pool water. So I think in the winter time that makes that look a little better. And I did try, though, that even though I was going to be doing this where there's always snow, I did try to still do some terrain paint, you know, just in case that you wanted to have it where there wasn't any snow. So I didn't go as crazy with the terrain paint as I normally would, but I did still try to put some in so it didn't look completely blank. Like I was saying earlier, I did test out everything and made sure everything functioned, but I actually haven't used it as an onsen yet. You know, I tested out as a residential lot first, just so that whenever I take pictures, there's not a bunch of Sims just walking around everywhere, you know, doing crazy things. They always tend to do that. So, I've only used it as a residential lot, but I can't wait to actually try it out as an onsen. The thing about that is I'm not exactly sure how it will function with the spa items that I actually place in here. But you know, it doesn't really, I don't think it really matters, I think, even if it's just as an onsen, if like people don't automatically show up for example, a massage, you can always just hire someone to come and give you a massage. So I think everything in here is functional. You just sometimes might have to hire in some people to do things like that. I'm not sure though. Tell me if you've actually tried that out, if you've made or used an onsen that has spa features, if it's kind of the same thing. I kind of don't think it will be. I think an onsen will pretty much just be the hot spring area, and then you have to hire people out. But like I said, I'm not sure. I've been building a lot is my point, and so I haven't had a chance to fully try out all of the different features. Like I said earlier, I think in one of my last video, I had 4 builds already pretty much done waiting for this pack to come out. So I've been building and been too busy to test it out. So let me know in the comments, or I'll just, I'll test it out myself at some point. I'm making this little room right here to put a sauna into. So let me list all the things that are going in this. Okay, so in the first floor, you have the little reception area, hangout area. There is an area it's the little building that's like off of the building and it's over the water. That little area, put a fire pit so you can hang out there. And then we have the massage area. We have a yoga area. Here's the sauna. Then I have an area where I put the bathtubs in, so you could take like mud baths or little soaks. Also I have a little kitchen area because I figure, your Sims will be spending quite a lot of time here. So I definitely wanted an option, to eat while you're here. Also on that same line of thinking, I also put, in the very, very top floor, I put a little bedroom space. Same reasoning. If you're here a little too long, your Sim gets a little sleepy, they have a bed that they can sleep in. Oh, I'm really excited about this little area here. For in this these rooms with the baths in them, I wanted a pretty little area to look into while you're soaking in the bathtub. So I make this little area with the sand, with the plants and the rocks and the fountain and everything like that. And then I put this big picture window looking into that area. So it's like an ultimate relaxing experience. I got that idea from a real onsen. It wasn't quite the same, but it was pretty similar. Have a little garden area to look into while you're soaking. Oh yes, and I forgot to mention there's a little place where you can do some meditation. That is a little balcony area off of the yoga area. Building this really made me want to go to an onsen or to a spa. It was so relaxing just to even build it. I just really want to go to one in real life. Of course, I'm not going to at the moment. With COVID going on, it's probably not a good idea, but I can't wait until I can. I've never, ever been to one before in my entire life, so it seems really nice. It's on my list of things that I need to do. I have realized that all the builds that I have planned for Mount Komorebi so far, they are all community lots. I'm just kind of obsessed with community lots. I just really enjoy building them. You know, I have a couple of houses for Mount Komorebi planned out in my head, but you know, I don't know. I just get really excited about a good community lot. What kind of houses are you wanting though for Mount Komorebi? I definitely want to make a house in the more traditional part of town, make like a townhome kind of thing. So that is for sure on my list. But other than that, you know, I don't know. I have some rental ideas, but really I want to know, what kind of houses are you wanting? Please let me know. So I wanted to ask you guys, have you done the patch fix, the new update for the game yet? I heard some not good experiences with it, so I actually haven't updated my game yet. I'm a little scared of it. I kind of want to wait a little bit because I haven't been having any crashing myself. I have been having a lot of lag, but you know, that honestly that could just be my computer. My computer is having a rough go lately. I don't know what's wrong with it. It's just super sluggish. I'm a little concerned for the well-being of all the things I have on it. So I actually just bought a solid state hard drive, and I'm going to replace my regular hard drive with one of those. I've heard that you get like insanely large amounts of improvement on speed and things like that. So fingers crossed, I'm hoping for a lot of improvement. My computer really needs it, and you know, because like I said, I'm not really sure if the lagging is my computer or the Sims. It's probably a little bit of both. But yeah, changing out my hard drive is really the only thing that I know to do, because I've already like cleaned off my computer of a bunch of junk that I didn't need, just trying to help it out some, but that didn't really do much of anything. So I'm hoping the hard drive does it. If you guys have any other pointers for me, I really could use them. I'm not, you know, a huge computer person. I obviously have to use one all the time, but I just don't know anything about it. The only thing that I ever know about it is because I'm like forced into it. You know, something breaks or a setting gets changed when it updates, and then I have to go on a wild goose chase trying to figure out what's wrong. That's the only time that I learn anything. Otherwise, I actively try to avoid it. But I do really want to know more about it, so any pointers that you have, I would very much appreciate it. Here, I have started working on the little kind of kitchen area of this place. Now, I didn't want to put in a full-on kitchen. I thought this could be more like a break room kind of for the employees, a place to get little, you know, snacks while you're here. I did put a mini fridge in here. I also put a tea maker, gotta have tea, and I also put a hot pot. So we have a kotatsu table, and I put a hot pot on there, so you can make like a full hot meal whenever you visit here if you would like. I don't put a stove or anything, but you know, with the fridge and the hot pot, you know, you're fully covered to eat while you're here. Traveling is a little bit of a pain in The Sims, so I definitely always like to add little things into community lots that make it easier to stay there. You know, because sometimes the load screen is a bit annoying, so you don't always want to go traveling back and forth to go eat somewhere and whatever. So I always do try to put in things that you would that your sim would need while you're out and about. One thing that I wish they would have included in this is maybe a tea ceremony, or even just a teapot, like a more traditionally Japanese teapot, as at least decor, because we have a teapot that you can actually make tea in, but that looks a lot different from a traditional Japanese teapot. So I really would have preferred that. That's one of the things that I think The Sims 4 desperately needs, is more clutter items. Because if you look at the clutter section, it looks like a lot, but there's so many things that are missing. Like, how about just a single pair of shoes, a wine glass, a coffee cup? Oh, I would just love those if they added that. Well, anyways, guys, we were pretty much done with this video. I just want to say thank you so much for watching. It means the world to me. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I hope to talk to you all again very soon. Bye, everybody.